Breaking news, and it is not good news. The U.S. Army planning to cut 40,000 troops over the next 2 years. General Martin Dempsey at a Senate committee hearing, citing dwindling resources in his decision to cut troop levels to 450,000. 17,000 civilian employees are also expected to be laid off. At that same hearing, Defense Secretary Ash Carter made a stunning admission about the president's program to train and to arm moderate Syrian rebels to defeat the Islamic State.
As of July 3rd, we are currently training about 60 fighters. The reason for that has to do with the criteria we apply, and some of this is the law, to these recruits. But we'd like to see more, and we're trying to get better at training them, because the number 60 is, as you all recognize, is not an impressive number.
No, it's a silly number. And for a defense secretary of the United States to stand before Congress and actually say that with a straight face, my God. The administration's goal was to train and equip up to 5,400 rebels annually. Carter's comments come just a day after the president declared that our Islamic State strategy depends on local forces. Iranian nuclear negotiators have extended talks once again after missing a deadline for a fifth time. Here to help make sense of it all, former Pentagon official, Fox News national security analyst KT McFarland, and journalist and resident at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, Claudia Rosett. Claudia, good to have you with us. Let me start, Claudia, with you. The number 60. That was the Defense Secretary of the United States standing before an important committee in a hearing, and actually with a straight face said 60 is not an impressive number when going out to, as the president originally promised, to degrade and destroy the Islamic State. Have we entered the theater of the absurd here?
Oh, we're so far into the theater of the absurd, I don't even know where to begin, Lou. Look, 60, what that really means is we're turning this over to the Iranians, whom we have already been helping on this front, which leads you to the Iran nuclear talks. There is a massive American capitulation going on here to the world's leading terrorist sponsoring state, which, by the way, is not going to be stopped by the current endlessly protracted talks from getting nuclear weapons. So, yeah, 60 is an emblem here of very bad things.
Perhaps it's an avatar for the whole absurdity that seems to be this administration's foreign policy, Katie.
Yeah, it's all about Iran. It's all about President Obama's obsession with Iran that he's had since 5 minutes after being sworn into office, when he said we're going to extend the hand of friendship to Iran, just unclench your fist. So President Obama has been chasing after a deal with Iran, and all of these things, if you pull the string, it's all about Iran. Why is nobody signing up to be trained to fight ISIS? Because guess who's fighting? They'd have to fight alongside the Iranians. If we wanted to really deal with ISIS, we'd arm the Kurds and we'd arm the Anbar Sunnis. We're not doing that. Why? Because of Iran. Iran doesn't want strong Kurds. Iran doesn't want strong Sunni Arabs. All of the things go back ultimately to President Obama's obsession with having a deal with Iran, a deal at any price, at any cost.
You and Claudia sound as though that you have reached basically the same conclusion here, that this is capitulation, to use Claudia's word. Is there not a role here for our Senate, for our Congress, for the loyal opposition? Is there not some voice that can be heard above all the others to say to this president, are you out of your mind? I know Netanyahu's tried. He's been dismissed.
Here's the problem, that President Obama is going to be gone. He is not going to be president 5 years from now. 5 years from now, there will be a nuclear arms race in the Middle East as a result of his policies. The people who are in Congress now, if they want to still be in Congress 5 years from now, they better understand they will be held accountable. Obama will be long gone. They will be there. They will be held accountable, because right now the deal is unverifiable, it's unenforceable, and it's unbelievable. The other countries in the region are looking at this and they're laughing. They're saying, we can't trust America. Iran is getting nukes. We're getting our own. And you're going to have a nuclear arms race in the Middle East.
Claudia, Josh Earnest today at the White House said, after all, this isn't just us talking about it. Looks like this is worth pursuing for another few days. It is the 5+1 countries as well, the permanent UN countries, plus, of course, Germany. as if the United States needed some company in this thing, some corroboration to continue another 72 hours of negotiations. The White House, they just look so enfeebled, impotent. It is pitiful.
The layers of the absurd here are endless. For one thing, our partners in negotiation include China, which has been one of the great routes for proliferation for Iran. That's how they get these materials in the first place. Russia, which built them a reactor at Bushehr and has been helping them evade sanctions.
And has offered a new one.
Yeah, and now we have the scene where Iran is supposed to be the pariah nation under sanctions. It is the world's leading terrorist sponsoring state. Death to America, death to Israel, that's what it chants. It bankrolls terrorists, Hezbollah, Hamas. It was planning to murder people in Washington not so long ago. And we have had a scene at the negotiating table in Vienna for more than 19 months now, where all these world powers, the U.S., UK, France, China, Russia, and Germany, are being dictated to by Iran. I think China and Russia don't mind, but the U.S., which is really the leader here, has been falling all over itself to concede. When Iran makes demands, the U.S. complies. We've got right now the American Secretary of State, who has been parked in Vienna since June 26th, for almost a fortnight, hoping to appease Iran into a deal. This is a message that countries like North Korea, China, other countries in the Middle East are going to read as it's open season, do anything you want, folks. And seeking the bomb is very rewarding.
It looks as if the principal obstacle then is really, can this president bow low enough to the Ayatollah?
Well, look, 11th hour renegotiation happens all the time. And that Gorbachev tried it with Reagan. The North Vietnamese tried it with Kissinger. You got to stand up and you got to say enough. You got my phone number, call me. When you're ready to make a deal, fine. Otherwise, you're on your own. And you know who comes back crawling? Iran, because they cannot economically deal with sanctions.
In that case, I somehow have an image of if they're going to come crawling, I better not tell you what the image is. Katie, thank you very much.
X-rated.
Exactly. Good to have you all both with us. You've not lifted our spirits, but you've certainly brightened the room and our view of the future. Thank you. Be sure to vote in tonight's